Hey guys, it's Sam once again, and I am making this video because there have been a couple of arguments that a lot of racists like to use. Really, it's made there so that they can cover up their tracks and try to make it seem like the person that is fighting the person that is racist seem like a racist. It's kind of a weird way to do it, but it's kind of like this whole mind gymnastics thing that these people are doing. But let me get to some of the points. Here are some arguments that you're going to hear when arguing with a lot of these racist commenters. One of the arguments that they're always going to bring up is that anti-racism is code word for anti-white. What is that supposed to mean? If you're anti-racist, it just means that you're against people that are racist to other people. If you happen to be a white person that is racist, that doesn't mean that people are being anti-white. That just means that they're being anti-racist, and you just so happen to be white. However, a lot of these guys are going to equate these things, and you're going to find out that a lot of these people are starting to feel that they are the victim, when in truly they are really not. How is it possible that these people feel like they're victims when they're victimizing other people? Well, it's probably because they believe that they are being marginalized because of the fact that racism is not really an accepted part of our society. You can't have systematic racism anymore because of the fact that we have things like affirmative action and a lot of these other laws that prevent racism from happening in institutions and a lot of academic areas all around the United States. So it only seems natural that they feel marginalized because of this aspect. However, you have to remember that just because you are anti-racist does not necessarily mean you are anti-white. It's just that you are an anti-racist person. Doesn't mean anything else, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you are anti-white. If you ever come across anything like this, please be advised that you have to really look at the situation and wonder, are you actually being anti-white? If you're not really being anti-white, then you are probably not a racist. This is an example of a person that's trying to play the victim and try to place the blame on the people other than him or herself. And this is pretty natural for people that do all the victimizations of others, and when they get found out, they will try to play innocent, they try to make themselves look good, and they try to make themselves like they're the good guy while you're actually the bad guy. Please don't fall for this, and remember that this is not okay, and it is not okay for them to place that blame on you when you are trying to help people out. Another argument that you're going to hear is that affirmative action is racist. How is affirmative action racist? Thanks to the news coverage, a lot of people believe that affirmative action has to deal with education, when in reality, affirmative action doesn't really have anything to do with education. It just so happens that it has seeped into that world, but originally it was for anti-racist purposes. Back in the day, around 1961, John F. Kennedy created an executive order called Executive Order 10925. And this executive order called for all people and all institutions to take affirmative action to ensure that applicants are employed and that employees are treated during employment without regard to their race, creed, color, or national origin. This is a very, very anti-racist thing. Is it really anti-white? Not necessarily. A person cannot be denied because of the fact that they are white, black, or whatever it may be. Doesn't matter what you are, you cannot be denied that. A lot of these people that are racists, they will try to tell you that affirmative action is racist because of the fact that it denies white people education. It's not really denying anyone education. It's actually promoting education for people that are unable to afford it and that are unable to get the GPA requirements because of the fact that there are not good institutions around their area. Let's take Chicago, for example. Chicago right now is going through a lot of changes, and a lot of people on the south side are worried sick because of the fact that a lot of their children won't be able to go to school anymore. Rahm Emanuel decided that he's going to close about 54 schools that are down in the south side mostly, and he's trying to close down a lot of the schools in black neighborhoods and Hispanic neighborhoods. Doesn't that really show you that a lot of these people are still being marginalized today? You do need things like affirmative action. You need these things because these institutions are being closed down because of the fact that they just don't have the money to run them anymore. A lot of these institutions are not getting the results that the cities desire. You should try working as a single mother, trying to get everything done and trying to get your taxes and trying to raise your kids and trying to get them to college with only minimum wage. That's almost impossible, and you cannot do it even if you married another person with a job that has the same payment as you. So remember, affirmative action is not racist, and it's not denying white people their right to go to college. They're just as capable to go to any college anywhere, and just because they don't get their first admission doesn't mean that they're being racially discriminated against. Not everybody gets their first choice college. It's not a surprise that a person like Abigail Fisher did not get her first choice college, and she needs to shut up and stop whining about her being white all the time. She's not being marginalized. She can just as easily go into other universities, and just because she wanted to get in there so badly doesn't necessarily mean that she's not going to get there next year or the year after that. She can also go into a nice prestige institution that are also in the area. Texas does not only have University of Texas, there's a lot of other institutions that are just as good. But you know that she's only making this a big deal because she feels that she was marginalized, even though in reality, everybody goes through these things. I have given my applications to the Art Institute, I have given my applications to Columbia College, I've given my applications to a lot of institutes, I have also been turned down, but that does not necessarily mean that I was marginalized, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they turned me down because of the fact that I was Asian. So this has been the third installment of my racism series. Hopefully that I don't have to make another one, but this is just made so that I can inform some of you how a lot of these people will try to trick you into believing that you are racist when you are indeed not. However, this does not necessarily mean that you can go around and tell everyone that white people are a bunch of this and this and this. That is actually racist. So if you are saying those things, you are actually being racist. Hopefully this was very informative to some of you. I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Have a nice night, and please be very nice to each other, and let's try to make this place a better place to live in. Thank you very much.